Instructed me to come up with a statement.
Yes.
Procedure.
Yes.
While I sympathize with my brother, the Honorable Mpuga, who has had the benefit of doing law, I am constrained. I have to raise this point of procedure. There cannot be a bill just thrown on the table. The procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, is whether if you will not alter the order paper, we can move a motion for first reading. Since government works these days like a robot, we can get finance to send us a certificate of financial application like they did with Honorable Nakut and have a bill properly introduced. Otherwise,
Honorable Nakut stood for leave yesterday.
and that's why I'm thanking
And
them.
we are saying Honorable Mpuga seek for leave, and then the processes go on. You will ask for a certificate. Clerk has right asking for certificate.
Madam Speaker, and I thank you because the one of Honorable Nakut, we left here at 6. I don't know whether she slept at finance.
Honorable,
So I am on the plea. You allow Honorable Mpuga also to sleep at finance and he gets it.
I don't determine where people sleep. Honorable Ichero.
Right Honorable Speaker, this Honorable House yesterday instructed me to come up with a statement of our national roads and the accidents that have continued to claim lives. And I beg to proceed as follows. Right Honorable Speaker, this is the statement of the state of our national roads, the increasing number of accidents across the country, and the available funding for them in 2025-2026 budget. And I want to, on the onset, Right Honorable Speaker, to say that as I give this report, I'm also aware at the stage at which we are in our budget process. I hope it is applauded. Right Honorable Speaker, let me start by addressing the tragic accidents that have occurred on the road network this month, including the bus accident on Kisoga, Nyenga Road, the bus collision along the Pakwacha Roa Road, and the accident at the Busabala flyover. I extend heartfelt condolences to the families affected by these unfortunate events. The government has commenced investigation into the accidents and will provide a comprehensive report. As these matters are still under investigation, Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, I will refrain from delving into the specific details at this time. However, I want to assure the honorable members that every effort is being made to identify the causes properly and the acts of the accidents and prevent this preventable loss of lives on our roads in the future. Right Honorable Speaker, on the state of the national roads in the country, there is indeed a cause for concern. As of financial year 2024-2025, 1,880 kilometers of paved roads require periodic maintenance, while 615 kilometers have already deteriorated to the level of requiring full rehabilitation. This backlog is a result of consistent underfunding for maintenance activities over the years. Honorable members, the National Roads Development Program faces a severe funding deficit in the financial year 2025-2026. The current budgetary allocations, Right Honorable Speaker, are far below the resources required for the timely completion of critical road development, rehabilitation, and maintenance projects. The consequences of this deficit will affect government programs. This statement gives an overview of the status of funding, including the potential impact of not allocating the necessary resources. Let me start by the status of funding for national roads, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, in the financial year 25-26, The total budget allocated to national roads is Uganda shillings 682 billion, against a total requirement of 3.15 trillion, resulting in a funding gap of 2.472 trillion. Annex 1 that I have provided here shows the detailed breakdown of the required funds. The Uganda shillings 3.15 trillion is required to cover, Right Honorable Speaker, one, domestic areas of 1 trillion, which continues to accrue interest daily. Two, land acquisition for both ongoing and new road development projects, including projects that are externally financed. Three, urgent maintenance, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and upgrading of key road links across the country. And four, bridge and ferry development projects, including emergency works on bridges affected by adverse weather in the last 2 years. Honorable members, there has been a reducing budgetary allocation to the development and maintenance of roads over the last 3 years, as compared to the funding envelope required to implement the roads program in the third National Development Plan. Allocations have sharply fallen from 90% of the expected allocation of 2022-2023 to only 20% in 2025-2026. A summary of the allocation per financial year is shown in what I've described as Annex 2 here. This reduction in budgetary allocation is the main cause of increasing domestic arrears. Unless there is an urgent intervention that I beg Parliament together with us, the domestic arrears could further escalate, and the next financial years will have adverse impacts. Honorable colleagues, Right Honorable Speaker, my ministry has prepared a work plan in line with the planned transport infrastructure interventions required in NDP 4 and the spillovers from NDP 3. However, due to the large funding gap, it will be impossible to undertake the activities in the work plan with the potential catastrophic effects on the state of roads across the country. Honorable members, in line with the shortfall, the Minister of Works and Transport has made allocations prioritizing payments of arrears and acquisition of land for ongoing works. Most of the ongoing projects have not received sufficient funding to cover the planned scope of work. For example, Mitiana Mubende. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Mitiana Mubende requires an allocation of 130 billion and was only allocated 21 billion. Kampala Jinja requires 90 billion and was only allocated 7 billion. Mbarare Shaka was not allocated any resource despite being in very bad shape. The allocation projects are located in Annex 3. If no extra funds are allocated, Madam Speaker, the result will be an increase in the domestic areas, including interest in the unpaid sums. Impact of the funding gap. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the funding gap I have described will negatively impact the ministry's ability to undertake land acquisition, complete ongoing projects, carry out urgently required maintenance works on the network, and commence strategic projects like Bobby Corner, from Bobby to Corner Ayer, to support our expected AFCON 2027. This budget shortfalls will also affect the implementation of externally funded projects, as resources are required for counterpart funding and land acquisition for the projects. Honorable members, if the extra allocation is not made now, the government of Uganda will have to pay more in the long run due to the following factors. One, interest on delayed payments will increase. The estimated interest in financial year 25-26 due to delayed payments is approximately 48 billion. In cases where contractors demobilize, when work resumes, it will include extra scope of work to cover the damage done in the structure when the contractor was not on the site. You may have seen this in Banda. Contractors claim for demobilization and also reputational damage to the country, which will cause contractors to increase their future bid process to cater for the risk of non-payment, and delayed utilization of external finances, which results in increased financing costs for the loans, and increased accidents in the abandoned sites and across the road network where interventions are required. In addition to the direct costs mentioned above, Right Honourable Speaker, there is a larger risk of losing the value of the road assets that the government of Uganda has invested in over the last 15 years. The total paved network currently stands at 6,306 kilometers as of 2024-2025. This paved network is increasingly at risk of deterioration due to underinvestment in timely maintenance. As a result of the underfunding, already 615 kilometers of the paved network have deteriorated beyond maintenance levels and will require expensive interventions in form of rehabilitation or in some cases full reconstruction. Honorable members, it is much cheaper to undertake periodic maintenance interventions like resealing and local repairs compared to the full rehabilitation that is usually required when a road is neglected. The cost of the periodic maintenance ranges from Uganda shillings 646 million to Uganda shillings 1.14 billion per kilometer, while the cost of rehabilitation range from 2.28 billion to 2.66 billion per kilometer. The periodic maintenance activities renew the life of the road. A good example is the Kampala Northern Bypass, where the periodic maintenance currently being implemented will give the road a new lease of life and reasonable cost as compared to waiting until the road requires full rehabilitation later on down the road. If no periodic maintenance activities are done on the national road network in financial year 25-26, projections indicate that in addition to 500 kilometers of paved roads currently in fair condition will degrade to the point of requiring full rehabilitation. This loss in asset value, Right Honourable Speaker, on pavement has been estimated at around 1.007 trillion over that financial year, that's 25-26. My prayer, Right Honourable Speaker, that together the challenges I have described require urgent intervention to mitigate the adverse effects of the current funding shortfalls. I propose the following strategy to help mitigate this, and we have shared this with the different committees. One, provide additional resources to enable contractors on the ongoing projects such as Mitiana Mubende, Kampala Jinja, Karuma Pakwach, Najanankumbi Busabala, Kira Matuga, Tororo Busia, to complete them on schedule. Two, providing funds for land acquisition and counterpart funding for ongoing externally financed projects to ensure the external resources are not left lying idle, e.g. Rwenkunywa Patch, Lira Puranga, Muyembe na Kapiripirit, Kirhora Kamwenge na Magomba Budadiri, just to mention but a few. Then provide funds for key maintenance projects such as Mbarara and Shaka, Nebia Roa, Mubende Chenjojo, etc., and emergency bridges repairs. Three, provide funds for payment of outstanding areas to reduce the accumulation of interest and maintain the service provider's confidence in the government's commitment to pay for works done. Prioritizing of funding for maintenance and ensuring funds are released in a predictable manner to enable proper planning for maintenance activities. Assurances, Right Honourable. Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister of Works and Transport commits to conduct road safety inspections at all work zones to ensure that adequate warnings in form of signages and other safety devices are installed. The Minister also continues to conduct inspections of black spots across the road network, so to install mitigation measures to ensure that the safety of our road users is guaranteed. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to assure you and all the honourable members that the Minister of Works and Transport is committed to utilizing the allocated resources in the most effective manner possible to enable us be safe on our roads and the transportation of our infrastructure services. I beg to submit, Right Honourable.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Honourable Minister.